let me get this straight. The Bible says that God made a firmament, and he also made lights like the sun, moon, and stars, and he put them in the firmament while he's sitting above the circle of the earth. All the while the earth is set on foundations and it can never be moved, while the shape of the earth is like clay pressed under a seal. And mind you, the earth is resting on pillars, which, by the way, the earth is God's footstool, and it's residing in a universe that's complete and not expanding. But you want me to believe that we're living in whatever the hell this is, right? Not happening.
You're a Christian, you're going to have to pick. Do you believe NASA or do you believe the Bible? Because here it is in the Bible. God made the sun and the moon and the stars. 3 different words, 3 different things, differentiated on purpose. The Bible does not waste a word. It differentiated the sun and the moon and the stars on the first page of the book. Okay? Now, what does NASA tell you? The sun is a star, and the stars are the sun. If you read the Bible clearly, it says that the sun and the moon and the stars, there's 3 different bodies. And so when I'm telling you that NASA says that the sun are stars and that they're off in the distance, I'm telling you NASA's full of shit. The sun don't twinkle. You ever heard the song Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? They wrote that back a long time ago because they look at the stars and they say, hey, these things twinkle. What does NASA teach, though? The sun is stars. They're the same thing. They're just further away. No, the sun and the stars are different. The sun will never twinkle. It is not a star. It's a great light to rule the day.
Look at these photos.
They're habitual liars. They'll lie again and again. They'll lie to your face. They'll steal your money. And that's what I'm telling you NASA is. It is demonic. Their satellites are on balloons, buddy. They put it on a balloon, and then it floats. It's that simple.
That's got to be a powerful damn balloon.
Well, check this out.
That shit heavy as hell.
Okay, pull up a video of a satellite getting rediscovered. They fall down all the time. What do they got attached to them? Every time. Balloon. Balloon.
Look, people used to say we didn't go to the moon, right? I didn't believe them until I went to
I don't believe you.
until I went to go look at the footage, and that footage looked fake to me, right?
Well, of course it is fake.
Yeah.
That's why it looks fake to you, because it is fake. You have your own discernment, brother. Have your own wisdom. Have your own confidence.
Yeah.
Don't believe everything that you look at.
Well, I totally don't believe we've been to the moon.
Well, thank God, because
Yeah.
I think it's actually anti-Christian. I think as a Christian, you have to have discernment. Who is the enemy?
Hey.
Why are they? Who's
Right.
trying to pervert the truth?
Bring
NASA is perverting the truth.
Right. Bring up some footage when we went to the moon.
Oh,
look at the rover. That shit crazy. Supposedly there's no gravity on the moon.
right.
So why he ain't floating out in outer space?
Right.
If
Where's the stars in the background?
Yeah.
Right.
Where's
Oh,
the stars, guys?
Yeah.
They can't fake the stars. They can't fake the constellation, so they just blacked them out.
And where's the dust at?
There's no dust, brother. I mean, you could tell that it's all fake, man. And so you got to have spiritual discernment, because this is the devil lying to you to try to make you think that there's no God. Believe in satellites, they actually contradict themselves. They have to travel at 17,500 miles an hour above the Earth's surface to defy gravity, to actually float. That's what these astrophysicists claim. So traveling 17,500 miles an hour, that's how you get anti-gravity. You go 17,499, you fall back to Earth. You burn up. Okay, well, here's the thing. They're traveling 20,000 miles an hour plus all around the Earth. How many is there? Supposedly 100,000. They ain't ever hitting each other? They don't need no maintenance. Years running off of no fuel, need no maintenance, not hitting other satellites. Oh, but I can't get a signal in my fucking backyard. And I know that these evil people have perverted the truth.
Space, do you believe in the universe? If so, please watch and then comment. I used to believe in space. I used to believe in the universe. I used to believe in ancient aliens and what NASA told me and all this, that, and the other. But then someone asked me if I knew the heliocentric model. And I said, no, not really. I just believe in space because that's what I saw on TV. So they told me to look into the heliocentric model and then decide whether or not I still believe in space. And so I did. And do you know what the heliocentric model believes in? The heliocentric model believes this, that not only do we live on a spinning ball of water, but that spinning ball of water is rotating on axis at 1,000 miles per hour, while orbiting the sun with all the other planets at 66,600 miles per hour, while being dragged by the Milky Way galaxy at over 480,000 miles per hour. All this while the universe expands at over 2.1 million miles per hour. How is that possible? Why haven't we been disintegrated into nothing? Their answer, the heliocentric people's answer, is this. It's gravity. Gravity is what is protecting us from being shredded to pieces. Gravity is what's supposedly containing the pressure, the gas pressure here on Earth. Gravity is what's holding all the oceans to this rock. So if this sounds outlandish, if it sounds outlandish that we're traveling at 2.1 million miles per hour throughout an infinite vacuum of space, yet we see the same celestial patterns since the beginning of time, the same patterns that our ancient civilizations relied upon to navigate the seas, to grow their crops, including the North Star that hasn't moved at all, including Orion's belt that lines up with the Giza pyramids and many other structures on this planet. It doesn't make sense to me. I live near the equator. Theoretically, I'd be walking sideways. Down below in South America, people would be driving sideways, walking around upside down. Planes would be flying upside down. There are so many different things about the heliocentric model that doesn't make sense. It's outlandish to believe this theory, this model. So please look into the heliocentric model.
I'm about to prove to you that we live on this and not on this. And at the same time, I'm going to prove to you that God's word is true and accurate. First of all, they got us believing that these rockets are leaving Earth, when in fact they can't because of this, the firmament. And here's the proof. Let me introduce you to Wernher von Braun, known as the father of NASA. He also developed the rocket that supposedly took Apollo 11 to the moon. On his grave, he quoted a Bible verse, Psalms 19:1. Psalms 19, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. The Hebrew translation for firmament is extended surface, solid expanse, a vault of heaven or firmament regarded by the Hebrews as solid and supporting the waters above it. We take a look in Job 37:18. Says, hast thou with them spread out the sky which is strong and as molten looking glass. So the firmament that is supporting the waters above is literally made out of glass. Has anyone noticed how all these rockets, when they go up, they curve every single launch? It almost looks like they're taking the shape of the firmament. I mean, we could see it in Disney's logo. Wernher von Braun and Walt Disney were best friends, which also has an interesting pattern going through it. Isaiah 40:22, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Again, stretches out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. But would you say this looks like a circle and a tent to dwell in? Or would you say this one looks like a circle and a tent to dwell in? Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. God's word is true. He wants a relationship with you, not a religion.
Proving that space is fake with a deck of cards. Now this is just not any deck of cards. This is the Illuminati card game conspiracy made in 1995, and it costs about $1,500. Now let's take a look at some of these cards made in 1995. Terrorist nuke, Pentagon. Here's a real good one. Quarantine. What did the world just go through? Y'all remember the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico? Now, before I go any further, I gotta explain to the simple-minded what predictive programming is. It's essentially a set of planned events that they program into your subconscious mind through things like this prior to them happening. They've been trying to do this one for quite some time, eh? Now, this is why everyone's like, The Simpsons predicts everything. No, it is not a prediction. It is an agenda. Now, they do this because they are essentially disclosing and telling you what they are going to do previous to them doing it. And this alleviates their karma. Take a look at some more of these cards. International Weather Organization, geoengineering, chemtrails. Remember the nuclear accident, the Boston Marathon bombing? Here's one of my favorites, flat earthers. People laugh, but the flat earthers know something. I wonder what we know. Maybe that we're not on a ball spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles per hour, and hurling through space at millions of miles per hour. Here's a cool one, science fiction fans. That's what you guys are. And one of my favorites, NASA. Y'all remember that song, Californication, by the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Space might be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. They put these things in your face, and you guys don't even pick up on it. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. Peace and love.
What do you mean you haven't met an intelligent flat earther? I don't think you're very smart, first of all, because you believe in NASA. Some government entity. But here's more proof that it's flat, because this would be impossible.
The stars you see in the sky are actually angels. They are not these big balls of gas and fire like we have been told. We know according to Genesis 1 that the Most High placed the stars, the sun, and the moon inside of the firmament dome, which would make it impossible for them to be these massive balls of gas and fire. when they've told us that stars are actually much bigger than the earth, so this would literally be impossible. If we go to Matthew chapter 2 verse 2, we're going to figure out what a star is. Where is he who has been born sovereign of the Yahudim, or king of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to reverence to him, or to worship him. He's talking about the Messiah who was just born. And see, the star which they had seen in the east went before them, until it came and stood over where the child was. And seeing the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. So you're probably wondering, how can a big star go and stand over someone? Because they're actually living beings. They are messengers, angels of the Most High. Now here is a description of one of these heavenly messengers, one of these angels. As for their appearance, all four looked alike, as if a wheel in the middle of a wheel. A wheel inside of a wheel. Now here are some real photos of stars taken with a high zoom camera. What do you notice? They look like wheels inside of wheels. Pretty accurate to the description that was given there. Remember, Satan drew a third of the stars of heaven and thrown them to the Eretz, the earth. That's referring to the fallen angels, right? The stars. Which kind of makes sense why they call these wicked celebrities stars.
Tinfoil hat fact of the day. Did you know
that the U.S. government has had patents to control the weather since 1891?
Do the research.
So if the Earth was actually a globe, then there wouldn't be any astrological signs. The zodiac signs would not exist. Why is that? That's because the zodiac signs are a representation of the sun traveling across the sky in relation to the stars behind it at high noon. That's what the astrological signs are. The stars behind it that you would see is the astrological age that you are in. We have 12 astrological signs because we have 12 star constellations rotating overhead over our flat plane. No religions on Earth would exist if the Earth was a globe. All religions are based off of a flat Earth because our cosmology is flat Earth. This isn't about the Earth being flat, it's about the fact that we are the center of the universe, the center of all creation, and we should be thankful that we are here.
In this video I show that airplanes have to assume the Earth is flat and stationary in order to fly, and that the attitude indicator in the aircraft proves a flat Earth.
Marco, when you maintain the same altitude around a globe, is this line curved?
The line curves because we're taking into consideration the curvature of the Earth. We do not need to nose down at all. What?
So how come you don't gain altitude?
All right, angels.
This is an attitude indicator for an aircraft. It's connected to a gyroscope that maintains rigidity in space. Any input that the pilot makes will show up on the attitude indicator as you see here. It establishes an artificial horizon to the actual horizon that you level off from on the runway. Now, a plane flying 500 miles per hour would have to account for over 2,700 feet of curvature every minute, or the plane would just simply keep gaining altitude and end up in space. Now, the problem is here, the gyroscope, like I showed you before, maintains its rigidity in space, meaning it doesn't change its orientation. So the gimbal base rotates around the gyroscope, and you see the orientation and change of the aircraft through the attitude indicator on the artificial horizon. Now, the Globers like to claim that the aircraft just magically follows the curvature of the Earth. They admit that you don't need to nose down, yet the Earth is a globe in their model, so you would have to nose down to actually fly around the globe, and you would see that change on the attitude indicator. In reality, the plane just flies straight and level to its destination, and on top of that, the plane actually flies with its nose up slightly to maintain altitude. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have the plane nose up slightly to maintain altitude, but also flying around a curve. So imagine this though. Fly a petrol plane off a steep hill and make sure the plane just flies straight and level just like the plane does. It's not going to magically tether itself to the hill, yet that's what they're trying to tell you is happening on a bigger scale with an actual plane. If the plane just tethered itself to the curve, then what's the point of having the artificial horizon? You wouldn't need it. You'd just fly the plane and it would magically tether itself around a globe. It's ridiculous. You can't claim a gyroscope keeps rigid in space, but then magically tethers itself around a globe. In reality, the plane just flies straight and level over a flat Earth. Simple.
We do not need to nose down at all. Why?
So how come you don't gain altitude?
All right, angels, you know what?
How come you don't gain altitude? You can't even debate me. He said this line is curved, right? But his plane takes this path. His gyroscope maintains rigidity in space. It never goes down. Yet he's saying he's taking this path, but he's not nosing down. The plane flies straight, but also curved. Great job, Marco. Thank you for the clip.
Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.